Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rick, W4BXL. I'm a member of the club for about 5 years. I'm by no means a POTA expert, but I do enjoy doing them. And to give you a little background, I got into POTA about 4 years ago. I used to do soda trips with Ron, but realized this body ain't made for hiking, and it's not made for climbing. So parks are usually more level, and that's what I like. Who's been on a POTA outing? Just two. Okay. Is there anybody who doesn't know what POTA is? Is there someone who knows what POTA is, but you're just not quite sure how to get started in it? Okay. Well, hopefully I'll give you some information and hopefully you'll learn something. I am the POTA coordinator for the club, and I try to go out at least once a month with usually Kyle and Heather are my people that go out with me. They're not here, so if it's after the presentation, if it's something you're interested in, let me know. We can schedule a time to go out to a park, and I'll show you how it's done if you don't ever know how to do it. So these are some things we're going to go over. What is POTA? The history of POTA, just a brief. Rules, difference between activators and hunters. POTA maps, park numbers, spotting yourself, logging contacts, earning awards, statistics, why would you want to participate in POTA, and merchandise. POTA is an amateur. Someone talking? I'm hearing voices. POTA is an amateur radio award program, and it encourages portable radio operations from parks and protected areas. Operators activate parks while others hunt them from home or mobile, and it's worldwide. There are parks all over the world that have unique ID numbers, and again, thousands of registered parks that you can activate from. I know if it's me I'm hearing. There it is. Okay. So POTA started in 2016 after the ARRL National Parks on the Air event. It was created by amateur radio volunteers. It grew rapidly with international support and now includes parks across many countries.
So Rick, have you talked to any parks across the ocean?
Canada, well, not across the ocean, but I have not gotten any international parks yet.
Okay. I've gotten Canada too.
Have you? Yeah. Canada's kind of easy to get.
I will tell you that I did pick up a park in Yemen.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a park. I thought it was a DX edition. And when I went to the website, I looked at it and said, Yemen, park number, blah, blah, blah. I didn't even know it.
Wow. I got one in Australia.
Yeah, I'd love to get an international park. So this is kind of what your setup may look like. You don't need all this equipment. All you basically need is a radio, an antenna, a battery, and a piece of paper to log your contacts on. So there's some basic POTA rules. You must have at least 10 QSOs within a UTC day to count as an activation. You submit your logs even if the activation is unsuccessful. That's because your hunters get points even though you didn't activate a park. All bands and modes are available. Repeaters are not allowed. Satellite repeaters are allowed. Parks within parks can count as 2 or more, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But each park must be recorded separately. And browse over the POTA rules on the POTA website before you start. There's a lot of good information there. Okay, time for a quiz. If you're sitting at home on your ham radio and you answer a CQ POTA call, what would you be considered?
Loafer.
Hunter.
Who was the first to say it? you would be a hunter. And where did my thing go? There are prizes.
Oh my goodness.
There you go.
Wow.
So if you're sitting at home making contacts and you contact someone in a park, you would be considered a hunter. As a hunter, you do not have to log that contact. The person activating the park will log that contact and you'll get credit for it. An activator is an operator that is physically within the boundaries of a park, attempting to make contacts. 10 unique contacts activates the park. And of course, you can get more. A hunter is an operator that can be located outside the park boundaries, like at home or within the boundaries of another park. That's a park to park. Hunters do not need to log their contacts. This is done by the activator. So when you go on to the POTA map at POTA.com, each park, and you'll see these little yellow dots, these are all parks that have unique numbers. I happen to pick Bays Mountain, which is US 6234. If you clicked on Elizabethton, this might be, is it Shoals? Yeah, they'll have a different park number. If you click on more info, it will give you park information where you can go to the park's website, find out what their hours are, find out if there's parking, stuff like that. This is what that screen might look like. Of course, you've got all your information up here. I know it's kind of hard to see, didn't come across very good. But it also keeps track of the people that activated the parks. So if you make a contact, you didn't quite hear what their call sign was, you can look on here later on in the day and it'll give you the call signs of the people that were in the park activating. It's really nice because sometimes there's a lot of static or where you can't really, or it's a pile up and you can't hear their call sign. You may get part of it. So you can go here and if you know like it's, KD4 something, 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 look on here and they're probably listed on there. There's also another website that I just love, potamap.us. This will give you the actual boundaries of the parks. Here's a unique one. Does anybody know what this would be called? If you're in this park right here, what would that be called?
Are you going for a twofer?
Yeah. Yep.
Twofer.
This is a park within a park. So if you're in this park right here and you activate that park, you've also activated this park. So you get credit for two parks. They have to be logged separately, but you can get credit for two parks. And the hunter can get credit for two parks. On POTA Map, this is the information you would get if you click on one of those yellow dots. It'll tell you what county it's in. This is in Henderson County. This is in Carroll County. Give you the name of the parks. There's also threefers, a park within a park within a park. They're rare, but they're out there. Any questions so far? Everybody's just waiting for the next prize. How to spot yourself. You go to the POTA spotting page online, enter your call sign, park number, frequency, and mode, and you submit the spot so hunters can find you, and you can also ask another operator to spot you. So this is an example of a spot. And you can get this from the drop-down menu that's on the side of the website page. So you need your call sign, the frequency you're on, the park reference, and you do need a comment. It will require you to put a comment in there. This is what the list of active spots would look like. And again, it didn't come across very good, but it gives you the park, the state they're in, what mode they're using. This one's using CW. This one's using, looks like phone. Another CW. Gives you the last time they were heard. So if it's been 20, 30 minutes since they were last heard, they're probably gone. Call sign and the park number that they're at. So you can browse this. If you go into POTA and you go to spots, you can browse, say you want to make a contact in Florida, you can look, and there's usually a bunch of them on here. So you can look for the ones that are located in Florida, and if they're using the mode that you want to use, you can try to contact them. And they can do the same for you if you spot yourself. How to log contacts? Well, use a logging program or paper log while you're operating. You record their call sign, the date, the UTC time, the band, the mode, and a signal report. You can export the logs to Logbook of the World in ADF format if that's what you want to do. And you can upload the logs to the POTA website after the activation. You can put them in there manually if you want. The POTA website's really not designed for live logging. What I use paper, and then I transcribe it back onto the POTA website. That's how I keep track of.
So question for you. So
Yeah.
any logging program like N3OJP, N1MM, all those, basically you just create a ADIF file
You can.
and you could go up to the Logbook of the World, also to the website, POTA website.
Yeah, what I prefer doing is putting them right in the POTA website. If I'm paper logging, put them right into the POTA website. That way, it keeps track of the statistics, which we'll go over in a minute, and keeps track of all the parks you've done, the states you've done, and again, we'll go over that in a minute. But yeah, there are plenty of logging programs out there that'll work, and you can upload those to the POTA website. It'll keep track of that information for you.
I have a comment.
Yeah.
I know I'm the president this year. And I'm gonna tell you something, but I don't wanna go to jail, okay? So I was in a hurry one time when I was going to POTA, and you know how when you are in POTA, and so Rick and I we're talking, and all of a sudden Ryan comes in and he says, what, park to park. Well, it's like being at the store. You're at the cash register with the money, and they take the phone call and they service this person. So what goes on is you're there on the air, and Ryan calls park to park. Well, all of a sudden, I'm dumped because I'm a herm, and he's the activator. Okay, so Ryan, he says, "Oh, hold on, Larry. Ryan, go ahead. Extra points or something."
You get extra points.
Yeah, you get points as an activator and a hunter.
So you're cheap, nobody wants you.
That's right. So what I did, because I was in a hurry, and this is, I'll deny this, but I got on the air, and I just searched for parks, and I would say, park to park. Boy, I got my 10 contacts, and literally away. I jumped ahead of everybody, and, but I'll deny it if you tell anybody.
Activators love park to parks, again, because you get credit for being a hunter because you're contacting them, and an activator if you get your 10 QSOs. So when you call out park to park, 99% of the hams that are doing POTAs will bump you to the top of the list. So quiz number 2, name 3 items of information that are required to post a spot. There you go. There you go. Yeah, there's a couple different ones. So you can use POTA logging software and upload the ADF file to the POTA website. This is where you would put it on the activation page on the POTA website. If you do a paper log, then you click manual log entry. It'll bring you to another page where you can put in everything manually off your paper. That's what that screen looks like. So your park reference, your mode, frequency, the date, some of this stuff will automatically populate, the time, the call sign that you contacted, and if it's a park, this is a park to park, so you put US, whatever the park is, and then it will give you the park to park credit. So this is the paper log. Boy, it looks a lot better on the computer screen than it does up here. This is the paper log that I use when I go, and you can print these directly from the POTA website. You can print as many as you want. Up here, park information, your location, date, reference. This is your US, and then the number. If you know the county and the grid square, if you click on the park information on the map, it will most likely give you the grid square if you don't know what that is. Some of them do give you the county. But when I make a contact, put the UTC time, their call sign, the band mode, what your report is, and any notes. So over here I'd put, if it's a park to park, I'd put US 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if there's 2 activators there, sometimes people go in groups. I'd put, John and Tom, or I put the state that they're in. Just any notes. Awards. If you log your activations and your contacts on the POTA website, it keeps track of awards for you. Number of park activations that you have, you can get Hunter awards. Number of parks that you've contacted, you can get DX awards for contacting distant parks, and you can get special event and seasonal awards. So this is the awards page where it keeps track of everything, and this is my page. So far I've earned all these awards for all the activations and contacts that I've made. Working 200 different units, or 20 different units, 200 different units, and it usually goes up in increments, 100 different, 75 different. Making any contacts as a hunter during the Support Your Parks event. It tells you how they were made. So this is an example of what the award looks like. So this would be the Silver Certificate Activator for having 20 unique references. And again, I'm over 100 now, so, but this was earned 9225. So activator and hunter stats, it keeps track of your number of parks activated, and it'll tell you your next awards at, 20 more parks, parks hunted, late shift contacts, which I believe is after 8 p.m. UTC, I think. So if you make contacts after 8, and then there's early shift, I'm not sure what part of the morning that is. How many park to parks you have, entities hunted, and it'll tell you when you get your next award, how many more contacts you have to make to get your next award. It keeps track of states activated and hunted. So you can see I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 states. I'm going to the Dayton Hamfest Saturday, so I do have Ohio already. I should have Ohio already, but I want to get at least 2 parks while I'm up there. and these are the states that I've hunted. So still need a couple more. Some more reference information, 11 out of whatever that number is, 271. I apologize for this not coming. It's a lot clearer on the computer screen. So if you all huddle up around here, look at. So why participate in POTA? Well, it combines outdoor recreation with amateur radio. It builds operating skills and portable setup experience. I get a big thrill when, I get my antenna out and, I set up everything and I get it on frequency and I hook everything up and then I sit down and I'm ready to make a contact. I love that feeling. It encourages visiting parks and nature areas. And who doesn't like to get out in nature instead of sitting home watching TV? That's what I used to do. I used to stay home and watch TV on the weekends. Now I'm out trying to do parks. It's a fun community with global participation. I've never come across a bad ham or a mean ham who says, I'm not going to give you that contact. Everyone's been really nice that I've contacted. Even technician license holders can participate on HF with a general or extra license holder or alone on 10 meters. And they have HF access between 28,300 and 28,500 on the 10 meter band. So technician holders, don't be discouraged. If you come with me, I'll let you get on.
What I like about it, you can operate from your car.
Yes.
You just pull up someplace.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of parks.
Yeah. Especially when it's raining.
Yeah.
And you still want to do a park. I have a laptop stand in my Hammobile. So I put my G90 on there and I have my battery sitting on the floor in the passenger well and I get on from there. And I'll get wet, put my antenna out and run the coax through the window. But that's also fun also. I don't mind getting wet. So POTA merchandise, there's a bunch of merchandise like hats, like shirts. There's a badge, which looks like this with the POTA lanyard. If you want to be really official and, you want to tell people that you're doing parks and stuff, you can wear the badge. And they can put, like this one has Kingsport Amateur Radio Club on it. So you can put your QTH there. And then there's other things. There's t-shirts. You can get to these all from the POTA website. There's a shop page that you can access. And there's maybe 10 different sellers on there that sell different things. It's not all POTA related, but a lot of it is. They also have the little POTA stickers, which I've got on some of my radio cases. I don't know who they are, by the way. So quiz 3, what type of log is required for you to keep track of QSOs made? That's a trick question. There is no log that's required. Can you activate more than one park simultaneously?
Yes.
Name a statistic that the POTA website keeps track of.
Number of parks activated.
Yep. And why would you want to participate in POTA?
It's fun.
Okay.
You should have a house.
Who gets the sticker?
What the old man?
So get outside, have fun with POTA. If you want to do a POTA, let me know. We can schedule a time to go to a park nearby. I think that's all I had. Yep.
Question.
Any questions?
I got a question.
Yeah.
What constitutes a valid contact?
An amateur radio.
Basically what's on the log, the date, time, frequency, mode, and the RST.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to know your frequency. So when you're talking to someone, you're asking the call sign and the report. Is that right?
Yes.
So and everything else you got to know. Right?
Yeah. When you put that on the POTA site, it'll ask you what your report is, what your RST is.
Yeah.
It'll ask you call sign, date, time, and then if it's a park to park, the park number.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Yes.
I've been doing FT8 for a number of years now, and you can, a lot of times they'll put their park on the air by their call site. So I always try to get those people because I know they're out there. They're not at home like I'm doing, and they're out there to get contacts and everything. But at any rate, at another club I went to, they were talking about it, and I thought, oh, wow, maybe I should look and see how many I've got. Well, I've probably got about 20 different awards that I've already, and it's just it was kind of like a casual thing because I don't do it particularly, but I just try to help out the other guy that's trying to get a connection out there in the boondocks somewhere. So.
Yeah, as a hunter, you may have awards out there that you don't even know about because
And
you're not logging them. So
Yeah, and I even got one in Australia, so
There you go.
surprising.
yeah,
What I find is if the bands are really bad, about the only people you can talk to are POTAs.
yeah.
Like if I wanted to just go out and make some contacts, generally
Yeah.
I go to the POTA spot page
Mhm.
because it's got it by bands.
Yeah, you can filter
And
it.
if
Yeah,
if I get in the pile up and don't know, can't get the guy's call sign,
Mhm.
I'll just go there first, check who it is, because they give you the frequency they're on, and then the park, and their call sign,
Mhm.
and that's the way to overcome the pile ups.
yeah. When I get to the park, the first thing I do is I'll roll through the frequency to see if there's anybody out there calling CQ POTA and get the hunter points if I can contact them. And then once I go back and forth maybe 3 times. I'll go up and down the band a couple of times, and then I'll go to another band like 20 meters or 40 meters, and I'll go back and forth, and I'll see how many. If I get my 10 contacts, then I'm basically done. I've activated.
Is there a POTA band plan? What I've noticed is the 20 meters, it's about 14,290 to anywhere in the 300s.
I don't think there's a specific
But
POTA
I've noticed that
band plan.
there always seems to be a concentration of POTA towards the back end of the band.
They go to the general portion of the band typically.
Yeah.
Get more contact with
But I'll go and scan the band and see how many contacts I can get, and then if I find a frequency that has no one around it, I'll ask if it's in use, and if it's not, I'll stick on there and make my spot, and then keep on calling until and it may take 10 or 15 minutes before people know you're there. But if every 5 or 10 seconds you're saying, hey, CQ POTA, W4BXL at Park US 1234, waiting for a call, once they look at their waterfall and they see the waves and they say, oh, someone's on that frequency, then I'll give them a call. Yeah. Any more questions? No? I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.